Welcome to the Dental School Guide podcast, your ultimate destination for all things dentistry. I'm Dr. Tanner Townsend, your guide through the complex world of dental education. Join us as we uncover the secrets of acing dental school admissions, navigating residency programs, and exploring career opportunities. Please share and enjoy. Real quick, just wanted to make all you pre-dental students out there aware of a resource. If you've ever been worried about getting into dental school or are wanting to get into that school of your dreams, then you definitely want to check out a program called Dental School Guide. In the program, we walk you through how to save money, time, and heartache when applying to dental school. There's so much fluff out there when it comes to resources for getting into school, and we are streamlining all of that. With our comprehensive digital course, expert mentorship, and personalized application review services, you'll have everything you need to stand out to admission committees. Take advantage of this amazing resource that will help you increase your chances of getting into dental school. You'll want to check out dentalschoolguide.com. Check it out. Welcome back to the Dental School Guide podcast. All right, so for today, we're going to talk a little bit about the Cura Talent Assessment. And so this is something that a lot of dental schools are kind of moving towards to aim in helping them interview more candidates quickly and kind of get a better sense for the students of what they're like, without making them fly across the country or come to their school in person. It really is a way for the schools to kind of filter who the applicant is in a quick and decisive manner that doesn't require tons of time for the schools. Now, this really became popular during COVID times when we couldn't go to in-person interviews. And a lot of schools have found that it's really quite efficient for them to interview more candidates this way. So as the application cycle kind of starts to pick up a little bit more and applications get submitted, you're going to notice that a lot of schools are sending out invites for Cura assessments. Now, some schools will use these Cura assessments as straight up their full interview, and they don't do an in-person interview at all. And the only time you'll ever hear from the school is for this Cura assessment. Other schools will have you do a Cura assessment and then potentially invite you for an in-person interview. It just really depends on the school. So today we really kind of want to go over a few key things to help you do well on the Cura assessment and also be more prepared and have a good experience with it, because it's a little awkward and it's kind of uncomfortable the first couple times you do it. Okay. So first, let's talk a little bit about what schools are looking for out of this Cura assessment. They want to see, one, that you're professional, that you're able to show the part of being a potential future dentist, that you're normal in your presentation, you're not awkward or weird, you're not funny, you're put together, you don't have random weird stuff in your background, and you can hold your own that way. Okay? So that's really what schools are looking for in this assessment, and they're looking to see if you're able to answer questions succinctly in a like in a straightforward manner. And they want to see that you're not going to be just talking your ear off and just filling in a bunch of fluff into your answers. They want to see that you're answering the questions that they ask you. So, a couple key tips that we're going to talk about. The first and the biggest thing is to just smile. That is going to really help relieve that awkward tension that is in the room when you are recording alone with your computer. And it's going to help it appear more normal. So really make sure as you're answering those questions, it's going to be tricky, it's going to be awkward, it's going to be weird. Make sure you smile, okay? Second, make sure you have a good background. Make sure like your bed is made if you're recording in your bedroom. Make sure it's tidy and neat. It's going to say a lot about you as a person on what your background looks like. And schools definitely notice, and they kind of determine how well their views are in an applicant depending on what their background is. If there's something distracting back there, it's not going to reflect well on you. Third, make sure your audio and lighting is good. This is something you're going to want to practice and fine tune a little bit before you actually record for your Cura assessment. Okay. Now, make sure that you have good lighting, good audio. I'd recommend even potentially looking into buying a nice microphone if it's cheap, or recording a few times just to make sure that the sound sounds okay, as well as the lighting. If you have bad lighting and bad audio, it's really not going to look well on you. Schools will say it's not going to hurt you, but it's definitely not going to help you, where good lighting and good audio is only going to help you. This next one is a really important one. Make sure you don't have any distractions. Don't have your dog come in, or children, or your wife, or your husband come in when you're recording for your Kira talent assessment. It is a huge way for dental admissions to realize that you're not put together, and they see it every year where someone interrupts them. So make sure you have a spot that you can't be interrupted or will not be interrupted as you're recording for your Kira assessment. Okay. The next thing is to make sure you stay on point with the question that is asked. Okay. So a lot of times when you are recording these, you'll have a video recording from the school asking a question or a series of questions, and then you'll have about 60 seconds to prepare your response, and then about a minute and a half where you're being recorded, or a little longer depending on the school. Now, one of the worst things that we had already kind of mentioned is you being too fluffy with your answer and not being direct to the point. Be direct to the point. It's important to really get your point across in a succinct manner, because if you're talking too much, it doesn't show well for you that you can coherently respond to a question that is asked you. And this is really what they're trying to assess in this assessment. Now, one final piece of advice that I'll recommend is I recommend that you have some practice questions that you read over and practice recording yourself, and then watch your recording on like Zoom or another software where you can kind of see how you are on camera. And it's going to be cringy, it's going to be hard to watch, but you're really going to notice that there are some things that you can improve upon. And after every time you record, make sure you write down what you need to do better before you record again. So this is just a quick episode for today. We just wanted to give you some good tips and tricks as people are starting to get invites for Kira assessments, and we wish you the best of luck. And that is it for today's episode of the Dental School Guide podcast. That's all for today's episode of the Dental School Guide podcast. We hope you've gained valuable insights and inspiration to fuel your journey into dentistry. Don't forget to subscribe to our podcast for more expert advice, inside tips, and engaging discussions. If you enjoyed today's episode, please leave us a review. It would mean the world to us. Until next time, keep smiling, keep striving, and remember, your dental dreams are closer than you think. Thanks for tuning in to the Dental School Guide podcast.